What's going on, guys? It's your boy B Scott back with another video. Back in LA, and I'm about to get my workout in, but I got an update on how my my next property purchase is going. It's a little bit of a downfall, but a little bit of an upfall as well. Seeing as how in 2020 is when I first incorporated my business, coming out of doing, like I was saying, doing Oasis Design and Build, but I was doing it like low key under the table. So this is the, a note to all you kiddos out there, or just people in general. If you're doing business, just go ahead and do the LLC. Don't, there was a point where I was just like, taxes are killing me in California and all that other stuff, or would be killing me, so I didn't do it. But anywho, the end of 2019, I actually incorporated my business, and off to 2020, things were going good, and then of course the pandemic hit. So I did a little bit of business that year. Still did a good amount for actually having stopped for 6 months. I think almost 7 months. And then 2021 killed it. Did extremely well, and it was awesome. So running into issues with that, with now trying to purchase my first property, because it's kind of like 2021 offset 2020, but it still has a low number when it comes to, I guess, debt to income ratio and all the other good stuff. But anywho, it at least lets me know where I'm at. And I'm at over 700 on my credit, which is awesome as hell, my personal credit. So that always helps when you're buying, or you're trying to build your business credit as well, because when you first start off, there's a lot of people that tell you that they can show you how to get business credit without using your personal credit when you're first starting off. And I'm here to tell you, I haven't having my own business for years now. Even when I was doing even when I didn't have my businesses incorporated, I don't know too many people, or had come across too many people that could get you business credit without first utilizing your own credit, because they need somebody to basically attach that credit to, or to be able to come after if you default. And that's the one big thing why you have to PG on your business credit when you first started off. So with that being said, that was that. Which you kind of like, at first I was kind of like, damn, man, I was seeing the bad in it, but I was seeing the good in it, because again, for 2 years, my personal credit wouldn't get over 700 and hold. So I was trying to get to the 800 mark, right? And then also too, just knowing that where I am as far as in my business, being last year being great, and then the year before that even being good during a pandemic, that's a good benchmark. And then also too, it just lets me know that, for this first property or this next property, I'll have to get a partner, which is not a bad thing. But at the end of the day, it has to get done, right? So can't sit around and be like, oh man, I'm gonna wait another year. Nah. I'm gonna go ahead, get a business partner, grab a property in Baltimore. Like I said, I'm not stopping until I get one. Then also, I've been really, because the Airbnb market, that's not just my only market, but the multifamily is too, but the Airbnb market is really starting to, and this could go both ways, because even here in Los Angeles, there's a lot of micro living. That's a thing now. And essentially what it is basically you turning a single family home into a multifamily property by just renting out the rooms individually and treating them as if they're their own apartments. So I don't know if you guys remember, I went to a property over in, what was that, Pico area. It's mid-city, kind of low-key. And that's what they did. They basically took a 3-story single-family home that had three bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, because every bedroom gets their own bathroom, and they basically just turned it into a multifamily unit. And so that's the new thing now, is micro living. I just saw actually another development company this morning. I read they did one in Atlanta, and it's basically they just did it where it's just small homes. So you have 300 to 400 square foot homes in this whole community property, basically that you can purchase yourself. And then I guess after a year or so, they allow you to Airbnb it or rent it out. So I've been really thinking about doing that as well. On a certain scale, on a certain level. It's not even hot yet and I'm starting to sweat already. But you know, as the markets change, as things change, you have to definitely stay above or stay flowing with it. So that's also been on my mind as well. But then also multifamily, and knowing that a lot of other states have a bigger renter markets, and the landlords have a lot more laws. I mean, a lot more laws in favor for landlords. Because again, like here in California, it's a no-go for landlords until you get into commercial properties. Commercial properties, I've learned recently that you can give somebody a 60-day notice and they have to go. You know, whereas with let's say like anything 4 units below, which is still considered residential, somebody can stay in your property for years and never pay you, kind of, you know, from the instances that I've seen. But anywho, guys, like I said, I'm about to get my workout in real fast, and yeah, after that, I'm gonna show you guys. After that, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my day started, and catch you guys back in a second. getting done with my morning workout. Oh my goodness. I had a little bit of a cold, and usually I don't get sick. And it wasn't like couldn't get out of bed, nauseated, nothing like that. Just literally felt like something was stuck in my throat, like when I would swallow, and a gang of mucus and all that other good stuff, but you don't want to hear about that. But anywho, got something to share with you guys about my next purchase on my next property. I had a little bit of bad news yesterday and good news at the same time. Like I said, this is my first year going into full-time real estate investing by myself, which is not by choice. As I'm growing and building and networking, eventually I'll come across a business partner or two, and that'll help things move faster and faster. But anywho, so backtrack to 2020. Actually, the beginning of 2020, the end of 2019, I actually just had incorporated my LLC, which was Oasis Design and Build, which was doing project management for other people, and basically subcontracting my own projects out that I would get myself. So that was my first year of business, was 2020, and then of course the pandemic hit, and it was just like, okay, well, I worked all the way up to March. I remember like it was yesterday. I worked all the way up to March, and then when March came, I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this. So I decided to take a break, and like everybody else, I was home for like 6 months. And then at the end of the year, kind of like close to the end of the year, I said, okay, well, I got to get out here and make some money again, because I'm an independent, entrepreneur, and my savings wasn't getting crazy crunched, but because I have a low cost of living. But it was like, okay, I need to start making some more money. So anywho, I started working back again, and then 2020 ended, and I made a substantial amount of money for what you would make, in construction, being a single member LLC and all that. And then 2021 came, and I completely crushed it. Got a great recommendation at the end of the year, which helped me go over 300K, in business and sales. And it was magical, right? And I was like, yeah, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Tax bracket going higher, income going higher, everything going higher. And so now fast forward to yesterday, I was going for my pre-approval to see where I land at, to know what kind of what price point I could purchase a property. Of course, I wanted to do multifamily. Of course, if I didn't do multifamily, I would do a single family, but maybe be able to STR it, which is short-term rental. So basically what happened is the correction of my 2020, or not correction, but putting my 2020 with my 2021 together, and then my debt to income ratio, it put me lower than I was expecting. But then I guess the dope thing about it was also that I found out that I had a steady 700. Actually, my credit score was at a 720, which it probably got knocked down because I had to do the credit pool or whatever, which sucks. So I'm probably at like a even 700 or something like that. But anywho, literally, I told myself last video I'm gonna stop using that word literally so much, but when I looked at my credit profile, I have maybe about 3 hard inquiries, including this one that right now. What else? Everything as far as no late payments. Of course, I always pay all my bills twice a month. I'm pretty sure if you've done, or if you don't know about credit and how it runs, you want to pay it before closing date, and then also before the due date. That way, it always shows that your utilization is lower than lower and not higher. That's one of the tricky things that credit card companies do. Is basically they put your due date way before or way after, or it's before or after, one of the two, before your actual closing date, which is when they actually report to the credit bureaus. So say if you got a Chase credit card and your payment is on the 20th of every month, they actually report on the, let's say like the 10th. So it's way before to basically say that your limit, that your balance is, like, let's say you have a $10,000 credit card and you have $5,000 on it right now. And they'll basically report that you have $5,000 on it, which is basically half of your utilization for that. So you want to pay before, which would show then if you paid it down, that maybe let's say you paid it down from $5,000 to, like, let's say only $1,000. So now when your bill is due on the 20th, then you'll only have $1,000 showing, and you can just pay that $1,000 off. And before that, it shows as basically 10% and then 0% after that. But anywho, that's just a little bit of side game in there. So yeah. So yesterday I got that notice. So basically what it basically forces me to do is go get a business partner and be able to grab my first property out of state, which is not a big deal. But at least it lets me know that I'm strong on my part, still by myself. Like I could still go out of state and grab something, in the 100K range, like just under 200 range. But I wanted to be able to have a little bit of a cushion and be at that 230 or actually like 240 to maybe even 300 range. So that's where I'm at right now, which is again, I was actually also looking for a place, a secondary place for myself, maybe in state and maybe in Los Angeles County somewhere, or out of state. But needless to say, like I said, it was an up, then it was a down. It was a down because I was like, damn, I thought that crushing it last year was gonna allow me to go into this all by myself. But at the end of the day too, that's what I go out and network for, is to be able to find a business partner, because at the end of the day, there's no big real estate, there's no big company where the person does everything by themselves. That's just, that's just life. You're gonna have to have business partners at some point. You're gonna have to be able to use other people's money at some point. And for that, they have to trust you. And like I said, I just feel that knowing where I am right now and how I've built myself up so far, I think that somebody that sees the potential in partnering up with me, and also the fact that I know how to build, because that's another thing that I've been thinking about, is actually starting to purchase land in different states and build communities, build micro communities. So that's another big thing that I see going on. Well, not big yet. It started slowly but surely, but it's been a thing, like it was more so like hippies and nomads that used to do it a long time ago, which is crazy because everything that, I want to give you guys some game. Literally everything that poor people do, or people that have been, let's say, not marginalized, but like hippies, nomads, like desert dwellers, let's see, like people that love to go and live off in the forest, like doomsday preppers or whatever the names may call it. If you look at real estate in general, I promise you'll see trends from each one of those subcultures roll into big markets now. Like if you look in LA market right now, or even like heavy, what Latinos used to do heavily in their communities, and it's not a diss, it's a dope ass idea. And I got this from one of my neighbors actually. What they used to do is, or what they still do is, they basically help people come from Mexico, right? So they'll have like a single family home. Let's say it's a 3-2. They'll section it off to make it a duplex. So then it'll be like a 1-1 or a 2-1, depending on how they set it up. And then they'll build something in the back, like they'll turn the garage into an ADU. And so essentially what they're doing is they're trying to get as many families as they can into that one spot on that one mortgage, and they rotate who pays the mortgage for that month. So let's say they have 3 families, 4 families even, on one property, all living at the same property. What they'll do is, and this is not all of them, but it's just saying some of them do this, but what they'll do is they'll rotate the mortgage. So what that allows other people to do is basically save up for a full month on the mortgage. So let's say the mortgage is, $1,700. The first month, the first person pays that. Then the second month, the second person pays that. Then the third month and the fourth month, whatever, so forth and so on. So each person dang near gets 3 months of not paying mortgage, and they can stack that money up to then go ahead and, buy them something themselves. That's one thing I don't miss when I come back home is the helicopters. It don't matter where you are in LA, the police helicopter is always out, like, regardless of where. You can be in Santa Monica, you can be in Compton, you can be in Beverly Hills. You're always gonna hear that. But yeah, that was one thing I learned years ago. I thought that was dope as hell. It's like, imagine if you get to stay in your place, your primary residence, and don't have to pay rent for 3 months out of the year, or 3 month and 3 month rotations. So essentially, like I was saying, there's a few different things that I've been seeing in the real estate game, especially now that, there's a housing crisis, or, certain new trends are coming out. Like there's a community out here No, yeah, there's one out here in LA County. I know it's out in like the Desert Hot Springs area. I just read about another one. These developers in Atlanta just did it, but they're basically calling them micro communities. So they're basically taking and making small, like 300 to 400 square foot homes, maybe even 500 square foot homes, and they build it inside of a community. So it's just like a regular, I guess, like suburban community area, but it's a lot smaller. And essentially they're saying that because, you know, people can't afford, or it's a lot cheaper, which is, of course, it's cheaper, but I think it's mainly because a lot of people don't want to pay these mortgages for these bigger homes because it just doesn't make sense anymore. But anywho, you know, that's my whole little soapbox. But and I like the idea, honestly. You know, micro community, whatever you want to call it. So I've been thinking about doing that as well, because one thing that you can't create more of is land. So that's always been a big thing. And a lot of cities right now too, a lot of states are cracking down on people utilizing apartment complexes for the Airbnb. So that's also another reason why it's like, okay, well, get ahead of the wave, the tidal wave of people wanting to buy land now to go ahead and continue the STR business, you know, alongside of multifamily and all the other things. But yeah, I haven't really came on my page lately, or at all really, since I started, you know, my YouTube channel and really kind of like networked really. So this will be like my first video where I put it out there that, you know, if you're in Los Angeles, if you're in the DMV area, also the South, like I love Texas as a market that I want to go after. Ohio, really big. There's a wholesaler that sends me continuously like large numbers of properties in Ohio that are, you know, 100K and up. Some of them need work, some of them don't, some of them are turnkey. Very seldom that they're turnkey though. And all of these are duplexes and above. So like you have duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes sometimes that he sends me. But in general, like I said, don't only like, share, subscribe, but if you're looking to get into real estate, and even if you just want to network and you want to pick my brain on what I've done so far with my real estate business, having 2 multifamilies in the desert, which I took those on from basically family-owned properties and put my touch on them. And then this one in here in LA, which I turned into my STR business. You know, definitely hit me up. My IG is Brennan Scott, just my regular name. And then also you can hit me up on 10 House LLC, or you can hit me up in the comments. You know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about the real estate market. Let me know what you see going on. And this video is not going to be that long. Like I said, I just got done working out, and I'm about to actually go make me a protein shake and find something to eat. I want something good today. You know, sometimes like when you wake up in the morning, you just like, you won't eat until you get something really good. That's how I'm feeling right now. But yeah, if this is your first time, even if it's not your first time and you just watch my videos and you support, I definitely appreciate you. But go ahead, like, share, subscribe, hit that post notification button. And like I said, also too, I will continue to say it from now on. If you're looking to get into real estate, if you're looking to get into the STR market, there's a certain level that I'm at right now. And like I said, I'm looking to push over that hill and get to that next level. But with growth comes, you know, continued partnerships and learning and being around others, and not only learning from others, but you know, that are on your same level, but learning from others that are above your level as well. So I'm looking to get into rooms where people know a lot more than me, because a lot of what I've learned honestly has been just from me doing my own research, like on Google and of course YouTube University, like everybody else. But it's also just been me going through my own pain, when I was doing my construction business, and just learning from homeowners, and just seeing what I did for other people on their properties. And it honestly made me feel like I was like I was paying for education, or I was getting paid for education basically, because I was learning basically from other people's mistakes on what they did with their home, or hearing what they had to go through. And all of that honestly in turn now comes into owning a property, and making it a business. Not only owning the property, but making it a business as well. So anywho, guys, I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm getting a little bit cotton mouth. Damn fly. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and make my protein shake, hop in the shower and go grab something to eat. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. All right, guys.